BTK just lost to Ackerman in a very interesting epic comeback, winning one match and lost two matches to Team Ackerman. I gotta say Ackerman played really well, but there was obvious mistakes that BTK made. If they correct soon enough, they probably can make it to the grand finals or even MSC because they have the potential. They have really good players. But unfortunately, if they do not make those changes, it might be the biggest hindrance that's stopping them, that kind of block them away from the ticket all the way to Vegas to grand finals. Today, we're going to unveil all of those things. Now, number one factor I want to talk about today, and you will notice through all the clips that we will show, is actually what I call the Rambo syndrome. Right? Someone who like to go in by themselves, do stuff by themselves without communicating with the team, without playing as a team, and you will see there are a lot of problems that caused by that, the Rambo syndrome. Number two is what I call the macro issues. The macro issues are pretty obvious with BTK. There are two things regarding the macro issues that we're gonna dive in deep. Now I'm gonna give you the layout one more time. The macro issue with BTK is actually the team macro issues, which is numbers game, right? Obviously we can see from BTK, they don't fully understand the number advantage, how to leverage that into a team fight. When to dive into a team fight. Number two is the rotation coming out from the EXP laner. Now, obviously, I'm not here to point fingers, but I did lay out the specifics, which is regarding the EXP laner, and you will obviously see a lot of scenarios TQ made better decisions that can help BTK propel to the next level. Now, we're gonna point out all of those things, so make sure to sit tight because we're gonna dive in right away. Now, obviously, from the first clip, you can see on the bottom side, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly go back to the beginning of this game. You can see Martis took an interesting rotation, getting his red buff and then blue buff, and then go straight for the small camp from Zane's jungle. Very, very interesting rotation. I like that. It's very creative. Because right after that, the Martis is not going to get level 3, but it does stop the possible invade coming out from Zane. And he did that, and instead of going to the jungle, he decided to go to an overextended bottom laner, which in this case is going to be T, and who will be taken down. First blood goes to side Ackerman, which gives it a jungle level 4, and you will see it gives the Galaxy level 4 as well. Now, this puts Zane behind, and this put Galaxy extremely ahead, because in the next wave, you will see why this is so important. After Zane rotated towards the mid lane, he realized there's really nothing to do, right? And on the bottom side, Galaxy has already shoved the lane, which put T really behind. He's on level 3. Even he has shoved this wave, he's still gonna be level 3. But look at Kush, right? Kush right now is hiding in this bush along with Galaxy. And because the Rambo syndrome I was talking about, there are two things combined. There are macro issues with T constantly overextending, and Galaxy watching our video from last week, understanding the importance of EXP laner diving onto the enemy jungle for the first turtle fight. And sure enough, he did that along with Kush, which bought their team the first turtle. Obviously, T made it in eventually, because this guy's mechanics still pretty good, got an easy ultimate into skill 3 Petrify. Doesn't stop Ackerman from taking the turtle, and is obviously this leads to a heavier snowball for Ackerman in the early game. So this is one example. I'm gonna dive into the second example, which is right here. Actually, we just showed this. So by the way, my clips are a little bit of chaotic sometimes. Okay, let's take a look at the second example, which is again from T's rotation, top side to the bottom side. You can see right here that right after this wave was cleared, this is a late game by the way, BTK has already made a comeback at this point. They took all the high ground towers, that's the current standing. T has many choices, right? He could have stayed top after leveraging this wave, knowing there's another wave coming, could have shoved that lane, put more pressure on the far side of the map, knowing that Lord is coming up, and then make a rotation to Lord, and call the team to wait, because he will force Ackerman's hand where they have to defend, and now BTK make it to the Lord. They will make sure it's either 4 versus 5 versus 4 team fight, or they could easily just split push and end the game, kind of like the Echo, what Echo like to do, right? But in this case, he made a rotation back to the Lord directly. Now, nothing wrong with that. It's okay. It's a standard play. I wouldn't say it's exceptional, but it's standard play. Unfortunately, EXP laner have to play with vision, right? In this case, he has absolutely no vision. He didn't know where the jungler is. He didn't know where the tank is. He kind of know where the mid laner is because Valentina was kind of shoving lane. Or maybe he didn't even know because the minion wave is right here. So only Zane is showing position and Valentina is not. So 3 people are missing on the map, and yet Yuzhong still walking through the river, the very, very dangerous and aggressive rotation pathing, right? And look what that actually do to him. He know that Twinks was in that bush, get accidentally stepped out of the bush, and nonetheless still walked into the bush and get himself chunked out, if not end up dying. You know, obviously if Nikolai was there a little bit earlier, T could have just been killed right here, right, with 1-3 combo. Now the second mistake that BTK made along with that is knowing T was already low, they continued onto the Lord, which forced themselves now into a really bad situation because now it's 5 versus 4, but to Ackerman's advantage, right? So this is the second mistake that they constantly make. Let's take a look right here. You can see that BTK right now, they're trying to like fight by the way, Joybot missed a lot of ults this game. You know, I'm not going to talk about mechanics, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a 5 versus 4, which resulted in heavy casualties, right? Nikolai ended up dying because Ackerman, you know, was still playing really aggressive and Tina making it to the team fight. Nonetheless, it stopped BTK from an easy lore take, an easy, should I say, domination. The game could have ended just now, right? Instead, we went through this lot of, you know, no needed team fights and extended team fights, which put them in a more dangerous position, should I say, right? Let's go back to, actually I wanted to go to show the clip again, but it doesn't matter. You know, that is a good example to show the macro mistakes coming out from T, which is something that you really have to pay attention to going forward. Now, in the game 2, I want to talk about the number one problem, which is Rambo syndrome, one more time, right? Why is that a continuous factor? Look at this. You already have Yuzhong being picked, because this game Ackerman's first pick, and somehow we're still seeing BTK picking up the Granger. Now, this is a belief pick coming out from Zane, but Granger is a pick that you really have to think about what is available on an enemy EXP lane. If you have a character that can heavily dive, that your EXP laner is not going to stop. There's no one who can stop the Yuzhong at this point to peel the Granger, right? If you look at this game, unless they pick out something like Kaja or Franco, which they don't have because Kaja is banned out. And then I don't know if we have a Franco player come up from Joybot, because I've really seen Joybot do it. Joybot's more of a Chow or heavy engaged type of player. So this is a very interesting and really Rambo syndrome style picking, you know, that kind of caused them problems. And obviously in game 2, you will see that they're going to run into quite a bit of that Rambo syndrome, you know, related problems. So look at Joybot. Now, take a look at the results. Joybot, because she jumps in, 1 versus 3, died. You're like, oh, Dave, Joybot didn't know that. Oh, actually, let's go back a little bit and see how he comes over here, right? You can see he saw the digging into the bush. He saw Twink and then, you know, walking on the other side of the river. He is very aware of Twink's rotating, mirroring his movement, going to mid. So, minimum, there's Nicolette and there's a Twinks in this bush that Joybot is already aware. Nonetheless, he still run towards this center area, right? He doesn't know where Kush is, but this is still very dangerous to get him low enough where he had to go back. And look, he's still charging in, which is uncalled for, right? Like wasted flicker, still got himself killed. Rambo syndrome, right? Why do you have to do that? You don't need to, right? And because of that, obviously they lose the first hurdle because now there's no way, right? Granger can move up forward. On the bottom side, same thing, Yuna, right? Hiding in the bush. He want to poke Zia. Look, he want to poke Zia. Like, there's no point. You can't poke Zia in a meaningful way where he cannot get this cannon. The reason why he do this is because he want to poke Zia where Zia doesn't get this cannon, but it's just not possible. This is a Harith under the tower with ultimate, with everything ready. This is just Rambo syndrome, right? No, it's thinking like I'm invincible, I'm immortal. Yeah, it's in professional play, it's just suicide, right? Even Harith there alone could have killed Zia, Yuna pretty easily. So that's over there shouldn't have happened, and obviously happened, and it caused him heavy prices one more time. Now let's take a look at the next clip. This is the beginning of the second game. I don't know why we're watching the beginning here, because it's, you know, we shouldn't watch the beginning here because the clip kind of screwed up. Yeah, sometimes, like, you know, my clips are, I don't know why, but YouTube is kind of weird. All right, let's continue on to this clip. Okay, I want you to focus on the minimap, right? The Rambo syndrome, going back to the primitive mode of not knowing how to rotate, the macros. We've seen in game 1 where T made really bad choices of rotating towards a river when he has no vision of 3 members coming off from Ackerman. And in this game, Zane is making the same mistake. Take a look over here, right? Zane just finished the jungle clear. He want to rotate towards mid to possibly camp this Valentina. Now, does he know where Diggy is? Possibly, because he was bottom lane. Does he know where an enemy jungler is? Absolutely not. This guy have no idea, right? Both sides are farming, so you have no idea who's camping where. This is what I call the death area. This alleyway right here for both teams, right? These 4 alleyways are alleyways that carry should never, ever set your foot on by yourself, unless you have vision already in the bush adjacent to it. Your team already established control into that territory. Now in this scenario, we have no vision, right? But look at Granger. He walked straight down into this bush. Now obviously, Kush noticed this and called Nicolette to respond to this. Look, Nicolette is immediately ready, and they just instantly double tapped. Free kill onto Zane, right? This is what I call full primitive mode. You don't really have to do this, right? Going back to the 2 factors we talked about. Number 1, Rambo syndrome. Number 2, primitive. Primitives being like not knowing how to rotate macro, right? Basic macro. And because of that one mistake, look at like the ripple effect, right? The bottom side easily dove, and then now the gold side tower being taken down. The snowball stars for the side of Ackerman. 3,000 gold, 5 minutes into the game. All right, let's take a look at next clip. One more example. BTK is at this point trying to make a comeback as much as they can, so find a play on the bottom side. Pretty well done. But look at Ackerman, right? They always rotate as a team. Even though the jungler, Kush, was bottom lane clearing wave, but he realized they might be diving him, so he was retreating. It's just Joybot made a really good play. Nonetheless, the entire side of Ackerman, look at the minimap, are rotating towards the bottom side. They're rotating like a team where BTK is, you know, very separated. Say what you want, but you will notice that the EXP laner, T, was rarely at a team fight, you know, and when he comes in, it's always a little bit too late, you know, and now he's just like trying to survive as much as he can, but turn out there's not too much you can do, end up dying himself, and Joybot, yeah, finding a kill, but at what cost, right? End up dying himself. So 2 versus 4 trade, definitely not worth it, right? Continue to extend the snowball. 5,000 goal lead at this point of the game to the favor of Ackerman. And this is going back to what I'm talking about, right? BTK continue to play this Rambo style and macro mistakes that's causing them heavily. Now, obviously, not in that scenario. I mean, should they make a play on the bottom side? I think it's good. I think the team should always try to make a play. I don't have any problems against it. I like a very proactive playmaking. But at the same time, the macro setup was not extensive, right? It was not comprehensive. You know, as a chess player for Zane, they should realize the importance of forehand macro, right? Can you fight on the side of the map? Is your EXP laner in position for you to take that kind of macro decision? And obviously, you know, evidently not, right? So let's take a look at the next clip one more time. This is an example where same thing as we analyzed in week 1. Ohio Brothers versus BTK, the same exact mistake is still repeating itself. Where look at T, all the way on the bottom side. Look at set of Ackerman, 5 versus 4. And yet, BTK took the fight. They did. You know, it's a 5 versus 4, completely even game. And then it's just not, look, yes, a good setup, nice engage, but doesn't matter. Number advantage is huge. And look what happens. Especially when you pick a Granger into your Yuzhong, you're gonna be heavily punished. When T finally makes it into the team fight, what does he do? Run away and then getting beaten up? You know, like a straight up, like dog on the street, just not able to do much. It's just really sad. You know, it's criminal. It gives you emotional damage. Criminal. So not something that I recommend BTK keep on doing. The team fight should happen when you have the EXP lane, when you have the further lane setup where you have a 4-1 on one side of the map. Now, do they have the 4-1 on one side of the map? Let's go back and take a look, right? One more time. BTK, if you split the map, look at the mini map, right, by the way. If you split the map like this, you know, 45 degree from the center lane, you have one person on the bottom side, 4 people on top. That's not good. What you need to do is to have this guy set up right here, and then you can do it, right? The 4-1 should always be adjacent lane. In this case, BTK is not, right? They're not in the adjacent lane. 4 people on the complete opposite side of the map, and then, you know, you have your your EX villain are too far away that he cannot help in any meaningful way, and which costs them heavily. So let's take a look at the next team fight. You will see this happening over and over again, right? But in this scenario, it's BTK who makes the rotation 5 versus 4 first. Let's take a look. At this point, right, because of T made a macro split push on the top side, right now BTK has the number advantage 5 versus 4 here. Instead, people were split, right? It did not take advantage of the number advantage that he had. They could have fight those people head on, or they could have fought bottom side with one more person, but instead they have neither, right? It's kind of like a half-ass, I don't know what the hell is going on type of deal, right? You have, obviously, you're not wasting all, Joybot wasting all on the bottom side. They got your drone's ultimate, but the result is not very satisfying, and then they wasted it, right? Now, big engage, by the way, this is what number advantage do to you, right? They got to kill onto the estates, onto Twinks, but what do they do afterwards? They backed away, right? Look. Beautiful engage from Twinks, from T. They got to kill number 1. They should run in, right? Run in, get them low, get them dead, push this ult. They have the advantage. There's no reason to stop right here. You can run in, get this guy taken care of, push him low, push him away, and then do this lure for free. Instead, BTK run back, right? Not leveraging the number advantage, not sure what everybody's thinking at this point, completely wasting this opportunity. And now they missed the opportunity. They couldn't find anymore, right? They couldn't find enough meaningful stuff. Yeah, they did a free ultimate, and now you have Galaxy comes in. Now it's a cleanup, right? Look at Kush. I think he found a double kill here. T coming back for some reason, got killed again, easy double kill. Actually, Nikolai finished it, but it's double kill for the side of, you know, Ackerman. Imagine this scenario. It's a 5 versus 4 initially, and somehow BTK lost 2 members compared to 1 member lost from the side of Ackerman. That's just not acceptable, right? When you're in a 5 versus 4, you need to find an decisive engage, knowing you have the macro advantage, and just go for it, you know? So again, that's another example of the macro mistake. This is the final example I'm gonna talk about today. For the side of BGK, not macro properly. Look right here, right? Zen goes in late game by himself, obviously completely chunked. At this point, it should be a camouflage play, whatever they can find. Instead, it's not something as simple as camouflage play. When I say camouflage, I meant to have the conceal, right? The conceal, the mask play. But instead of having the mask play, Zen goes in, get himself chunked. We already know Zane's chunked. We already know Zane's 1 HP. Yet, look at BTK, right? I want you to look at this play in full, and then we're gonna talk about it. Look, now Joybot is engaging. He found a 5-man engage, but yet BTK lost this team fight heavily. In fact, they lost team fight so badly that this is the end of the game, right? BTK lost the game in this one play, even though they were ahead because Zane's playing one of his comfort picks. It's just one of those very criminal scenarios. Now, let's analyze this play in detail. What exactly happened here? Lack of communication, lack of macro, lack of sync, right? They're playing Rambo syndrome. They're not playing as a team, right here. So, Joybot saw this play. I want you to see how, when he started ultimate. You see right here now, he's starting the ultimate. He's charging the Numenon's blast. I want you to see how many seconds it take for the entire side of BTK to turn around and be like, yo, we're going to follow up on this. Watch this, okay? So we're going to go ahead and go back. And in fact, just to show the syndrome in details, I'm going to play this in slow-mo. All right, not high definition, but playback speed. I'm going to play it in slow-mo, okay? Are you ready? Let's go. So here is Zane getting taken low. Joybot saw an opportunity with 5 people coming in. He start charges ult right over here, right? That's when he started it. Look at the entire BTK. Still running away after the ultimate is halfway charged. You see that? That's a problem. Why is that not being communicated within the team? Why is there not a team decision to go into this, right? As a tank player, it's very important when you see an opportunity that you can set up an incredible play like this, a 5-man ult. That's something that you need to tell your team. You need to be like, guys, on me. I have a 5-man ult. Right? It needs to be something you yell over and over again because everybody's brain is heated at the moment. That's why we train our pro players to be yelling, repeating important information 3 times. on me, on me, on me. Say that 3 times. If you want to call a target that you want a team to focus on, let's say enemy Steve, enemy Claude. You say Claude, 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 right? You repeat that one word so your team can laser focus onto the target, right? And in this case, look how long it took the entire BTK. I'm gonna go back to the normal speed. Look how long it takes the BTK to react to this. Everybody's retreating. Everybody's retreating when Joybot was sending that ult. It's not good, right? When Joybot sent that ult, imagine if this was communicated from the team. Everybody returned in the right time. You have T, pa, 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 with the R-lot, right? Because Luminous Blast. But that's not what happened, and ended up giving the Ackerman a free win. So I hope that BTK take this lesson. I hope the rest of the team watching this video can really take some notes, right? Play as a team, right? The macro decision, again, your team fight should leverage your EXP laner. That's number 1. Number 2, do not Rambo, right? The connection is very important. Everything plays off your team, play off each other. Engage to follow up with damage, should follow up with each other. Your team should stay tight, mid, jungle support. Instead of going this one by one and getting yourself killed, getting your team killed, end up losing the game. So with that being said, like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells. This is Assassin Dave signing off. I hope to see you guys in the next analysis video. Bye for now.